Hong Kong, for instance, the trains are just so right on time, right on time.
Yeah,
Is there a time that that's going to be that quick and that efficient with Muni? Do you see that coming?
You know, again, I think that they're very hardworking at it. The issues, I'm sympathetic towards the people at Muni because, again, Muni, more often than not, is running right down the street in traffic. So with all the cars and bikes and everything else. So if there's something in front of the bus that, or even the train when it's on the road like that, that stops it or slows it down, there's just not much they can do about it. So I'm sympathetic. I know their goal is to get to, I believe it's 80% on time, and I think they're still in the 70-something% on time record. So I know everyone there would love to see it be improved, but you know, it's going to take a lot of work, and they're working at it.
Well, I have a great idea for you. You can put those little cow pushers at the front, so any cars that are in the way, just push them right out.
There you go.
You know, you can take that if you want it.
No liability involved there.
No, not at all. Okay, so then you are brought to be treasurer.
Yes.
Okay. Is this a position you were seeking and it was granted you? How does one become treasurer?
Well, in fact, in my case, I became treasurer because the treasurer right before I was there, Susan Leal, was given a new job, had received a new job in San Francisco to run the Public Utilities Commission. This was in 2004, and at that point, then the mayor could appoint a replacement. The mayor appointed me to be treasurer. Probably the fact I was at one point a banker in my private life. I was also handling money and financial matters and budgets at Muni, so kind of that experience both outside the city and government experience as well as in the government experience made sense to look at me for being treasurer. I was excited to tackle the job. I really didn't know everything the treasure tax collector was about. I wouldn't be surprised if there's plenty of people that don't know everything.
You know what? I really don't even know. Could you please
does.
tell us what is it that you do?
But I've ended up really enjoying and liking the job. It really is. It's a really important job for the city too, because first and foremost, the treasure tax collector's role is bringing in almost all the revenue of the city that comes in the form of taxes and fees. So if you think about almost anything that gets paid to the city, like property tax, business taxes that businesses pay, the hotel tax that guests pay when they stay in a hotel, or the parking tax that we all pay when we park in a parking lot, all those taxes and many other taxes and fees are collected through the treasurer's office. We handle every year 1.5 million transactions per year. So we are basically busy all year long, and we're literally bringing in billions of dollars of revenue for the city. Really important money that the city needs to pay for police, fire, transit, hospitals, you name it. And so it's really important that we do our job well.
So are you the decision maker and delegate where the monies are going to go, or where they're invested, or what is it actually that you do with my money, Jose?
It's all of our money, including money, much of it I'm sure is your money.
Yes.
We bring it in, like I said, we collect it. We try very hard to make sure everyone's paying their fair share as well, because I think the last thing people want to see is someone, you know, I know I'm paying everything I owe, but I think I see one or two people around me that aren't paying their fair share, and that doesn't feel good to any of us, I know. So we really work hard to make sure everyone's paying their fair share. So that kind of comes down to the area of tax enforcement. But to your question, when we bring the money in, these literally billions of dollars, also the treasurer's office is in charge of putting the money in the bank, investing it, and keeping it safe. And typically that's not a very difficult job, but lately, you know, with the craziness we've been seeing in the economy, there's actually been some difficulties with that in other areas. We've always maintained a very safe approach to our investing. We invest in the safest things because ever since there was some difficulty years and years ago, you might recall Orange County one time years and years ago actually went bankrupt. The county itself, they lost the money that they had in the city's treasury. Well, since then, the state passed a number of laws to help safeguard monies for local governments. And so we actually have laws that tell us how we are to invest the money. And first and foremost, we're always worried about safety. We should not be investing in anything where we could even lose $1 of the money we've invested. So safety's number one. Number two is liquidity. We need to have that money available when we need it. If salaries need to be paid, then the money should be there to pay that. It shouldn't be locked up in an investment that we can't undo. And then thirdly, we're looking for yield, or how much are we earning on the money. But that really should rightly come after we make sure the money's safe and that we can have it when we need it. So those are the things we're looking at. It generally means we only invest in the very safest things you can invest in, which are usually like government bonds, U.S. treasuries, U.S. agencies that they guarantee, and things like that. So that's pretty much where we have your money safe right now. We invest on average the city's general fund, it's called, which is kind of like the city's checking account money,
Right.
money that's coming in, but might be going back out again in a week or two or
That
a month or
everybody's
two.
dying to get a little piece
Exactly.
of. Yes.
And our balances that we invest run around $3 billion on a given day. So we have a lot of money, a lot of your money.
That's
that we're
good. My
taking care
property
of.
taxes, it's good to know that
Exactly.
you're taking care of them.
We are.
So that must be a lot of pressure for you then.
It's like I said, it's a big responsibility, but we take it very seriously, and we're proud to say that we've never seen any of our money had a loss. We've never had any money at risk. We've done pretty well on yield and return, but again, it's not our number one goal. But I will say, when you're investing on the order of $3 billion, you're earning interest in the millions of dollars. So that feels good for the city too.
Very good. And speaking of interest and earning interest on your money or even getting your money, Bank on SF.
Bank on San Francisco.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm really glad you asked. This is an important program that we launched over 2 years ago now in the Treasurer's office, and it really came out of, we have a lot of folks in our office that know quite a bit about how to manage money. Well, we use that skill and that experience to help manage the city's money well. Why not reach out and give some other folks maybe some beneficial messages as to how they can handle their money well? One of the things that I saw, and a number of us saw, was that many people in our city were getting, ultimately, I would say, ripped off by the fact that they simply didn't have a bank account. This is a phenomenon that's kind of grown larger over the past 10 or 15 years. But what happens is someone, for whatever reason, typically somebody who's low income, will think that they don't have the opportunity to have a bank account. They think they can't afford a bank account. Maybe they had one before and they had some problems and they think they can never have one again. For whatever reason, we found, and we had some advice given from some experts, we found that there were estimates that said that as many as 50,000 households in San Francisco are unbanked. To me, that's huge.
Wow, that's
we
really
only have
big,
750,000 people that live here to begin with. So to have that many be unbanked, and the hugest, the greatest proportion of them happen to be in low-income neighborhoods. Well, how is that? Well, the way that works is you see that there are check cashers and payday lenders down there, and they say, you don't need a bank account. Come here, I'll cash your check. It only costs you 3, 5, 8% of the cost of the check. Basically what that means is these low-income families are spending as much as $800, $900, maybe $1,000 a year just to get access to their paychecks, something the rest of us pretty much do for free. And these are families that can afford that the least. We wanted to have a program that said, we've brought all the banks and credit unions together. They're all ready to give you a bank account if you don't have one. Please come in and know you're going to get a healthy starter account. And in 2 years, we've opened over 24,000 accounts, which people are keeping on average balances of around $900 in there. That makes me feel good because that's literally millions of dollars of check cashing fees that those people are not paying now. They're keeping that money for their families. I think that's really important.
That is.
And that's a way we've used our knowledge to help people get a better handle and be more successful in their own families.
And how many banking establishments do you have now in the city? How many places can they go for Bank on SF?
We have 17 banks and credit unions in participating in partners in our program, which I believe means over 170, 180 branches and bank branches and credit union offices, which is about 75%. So our messages almost go anywhere you like. Go somewhere
amazing.
Close to home, close to work, whatever works for you. The
And
same
then-
as all the rest of us.
And then finally, if you're a family or an individual that wants to take advantage of this, where do you go to learn about how to get involved?
Excellent question. You can go to our website, which is www.bankonsf.org.
Okay, bankonsf.org.
Bankonsf.org, or they can just call 211, which is a free call with multilingual support, and they'll answer questions about it, as well as 311, the city's information line.
That's amazing. You're making it very easy for us to get a hold of you.
Absolutely.
And it makes me feel very good that my money is safe.
It absolutely
Any
is.
last thing you want to say to San Francisco here before we end the show?
No, I'm just really proud of what we're doing in the city. I think we've got a lot of folks who have really an open mind about a lot of new ideas, and we're working on those, even in the Treasurer's office, to keep our money safe and also to help people handle their money well, too.
Excellent. Thank you, José Cisneros. And for any of you that want to find out more about Bank on SF, please give it a shot. It's a wonderful alternative to the check cashing services.
That's right.
Thank you for joining us on SF Live. I'm your host, Christina Marie Flores. Good night.
Getting better all the time. There's nothing you and